Hello everyone, happy Thursday. So as I said in my first video, I will be covering some various different topics relating to witchcraft alongside the unboxing of the box from last week's video. So that next one won't be for another couple of weeks because that doesn't get sent out until the middle of the month. But I will do the video as soon as I get it, and that'll be the very next video then to post up. But today I'm talking all about the moon and how we can use the moon with our general life. If you're in the broom closet still, but also if you are openly a witch, how you can still use it, but maybe in slightly more open ways, if that makes sense. So there's lots of different phases, as you can see. You know, I've got the crescent at the bottom. There is also a spot just here by my shoulder for the new moon, because the full is right up the top there. But with this one, we're going to start with the dark moon, which is the phrase dark moon isn't used very often in all the writings that I've read about it. It's more the it's the odd book here and there, and it's all about the ending of the cycle, because it is that last, it really is, it's literally the transition from the crescent to the new moon. So it's when it's particularly dark, but not the new moon. So it's a good time to just rest, because it's a low energy phase. So it's a good time to just rest, reflect, retreat from whatever's happening in your day-to-day life, and just pause. Press pause. We do sometimes need to do that, and the dark moon is the best time to do it. But as well as by taking the time to reflect, we can actually get clear on where we're at currently and where we want to go next. So we can start thinking about making plans for what's to come. So to make the decisions, we need to have clarity and maybe find a theme for the next lunar month or lunation, because it allows us to regain control. It allows us to dream and work out what we desire, what we want, so that we can not only see it here, but we've got it down on paper to manifest it, to help to manifest it into reality. And as I said, it is the ending to one cycle, but right at the very, it's literally that last couple of days, but it heralds the start of the new lunar month. And that's what it's all about. It's all about closure, getting closure, healing. It's a good time to take space for self-care, to just tune in to emotions, just feel them, and see what's going on within your inner world, not your outer world, not the physical outer world, but the inner, slightly more mental world. And I don't mean mental in a crazy way, I mean it in a just what's going on in your head. If you can work out what's going on in your head, then you can make plans. You can make that space to make plans, but it also allows you to connect to your higher guidance, your higher power, whether it's a specific deity the Christian God or the universe in general, the cosmos. It's completely up to you who you believe in, but you can connect to that on that level and allow that wisdom to come in. So next we're moving to the new moon, which is obviously opposite the full moon. So it's just the complete dark moon, full dark, and it's the start of a new cycle. The new moon is the start of the new lunar calendar month. And it's the time where you can take any discoveries and wisdom that you've learnt from the dark moon, the few days of the dark moon, and you can start acting on them. Because you've got a brand new canvas for the lunar month. So you can just create. You can have, you've got your desires, your hopes, your goals, your dreams. You can put those down in writing on whatever form you want, whether it's a whiteboard, a piece of paper that you tack onto a bedroom wall, living room wall, if you have your own home. You can do all of that, and you can get clarity on what it is you want, and you can start writing down a list of steps of how can I get from, say, here to here. How can you get from not very far up the ladder to the top of the ladder that you're trying to climb? And that's what the new moon is all about. It's all about planning. Because without direct direction and focus, without knowing where you're going, then it allows life in general, other people, situations, it just allows all of that to get in the way of what you actually want. So it's all about taking that conscious control of your life. And just because you want to go from this to this, you don't have to do it all in one step. If you don't think it's going to, it's too much of a big step for one calendar month, one lunar month, do it over 2 or more. Do it over several. It's just all about taking conscious control and making small, manageable changes. So, for example, I'm an air sign, I'm an Aquarius, and I have a tendency to dart all over different topics. But I've got a Virgo rising, which means that I'm slightly more organised than I actually think I am. I just need to use it better, which I have actually done for this because I've got notes. I don't normally do notes for these things, but new YouTube channel, new me. And as I said before, you can write them down as a list of, maybe not checklists, like, oh, I've done that, I can cross that off the list. It's not a to-do list. It's more of a vision board of how do you want your life or your situation to be by the next dark moon. How do you want that to be? So you can make those intentions, you can write them down, you can have a weekly one so that you can go from the new moon to the first quarter, then to the full, then to the last quarter, and then back to the new. So you can break it down into weekly chunks. You can break it down into even smaller ones if you want to. You can make as many notes, and you can have a vision board. So you can have cuttings of, this is what I want, this sort of look, this kind of home, this, whatever it is. You can make those conscious decisions, take them out of a magazine and stick them onto a board, or pin them onto a corkboard and hang it somewhere that you're going to see daily. Because when you see it daily, it'll keep your mind working towards gaining it, towards manifesting it in reality. So that rather than it being a castle in the sky, it's actually going to be a tangible thing that you can hold. So that's the new moon. So next we're on to the waxing crescent, which I'm going to use this for because you can see it a bit better. Because otherwise, just there. So the waxing crescent is when you can actually start to take action. So this is, I mean, each phase is, 2 to 4 days. So it can deviate from that. It all depends on how close the moon is within its cycle. But with the waxing crescent, as I said, it's the time for action. It's also the time for gathering the resources, the knowledge, whether it's, physical things that you need to start making those changes, or whether it's just, I really need to know about this. I need to learn a little bit more. I'm going to learn a bit about it. Start it. If you've got a course, an online course that you want to start, do it. This is the waxing crescent is the best time to do it, because you're starting the work to manifest your vision board into reality. And you're staying in alignment with the intentions you set at the new moon. So it's still keeping all of those alive. Because one thing that the waxing crescent can do is, because it's still quite small, it's nowhere near the full moon up top. So it can make you feel like your dreams, your hopes, your goals, those intentions are still far away. And while they are far away, that doesn't mean we have to give up, because even small steps, even baby steps, will bring you closer to that success. The waxing crescent is also about taking care of your own energy and finding a balance. So don't just put all of your energy into it. Find that balance. There's a phrase that I know, which is, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So if you're constantly just working towards one thing, stop. Take a break. You're allowed to take breaks. It won't delay anything. It just helps you to recharge and reset within. And it is helpful if you keep your intentions somewhere that you can see it daily. But you also need to trust and believe that the growth is happening. If you need to, don't be afraid to ask for help and support. So if you know someone who's got more experience within that particular part that you want to make changes on, go to them for help. Ask for the help. If you don't ask, you don't get. And even if they say no, they might be able to turn around and go, well, I can't help right now, but I know someone who can. So there's that element of ask for it anyway, because even if you do get told no, you might be recommended to someone else. So the waxing crescent is the time to make a clear plan to bring those new moon hopes into your life. And it's also really good to repeat your intentions. And if you use affirmations, you can repeat those daily. Another thing that is also really good is to just sit and spend time with your vision board, with your list of intentions, and either meditate on them, or you can just sit with them and just think about them. So that's the waxing crescent. Next we have the first quarter, which looks a little bit like it's just half a moon. It's when the moon is half full. It's neither crescent nor gibbous, because gibbous is the next one, but this is the first quarter, and this is when the energy starts building up. So you've got that energy to use for yourself, but you've also got more inspiration coming to you. And everything that you need is being brought forward for you so that you can manifest your new moon hopes and intentions into reality. It's a good time to say yes. So if you're invited to somewhere and you'd normally and ah and then go, nah, I don't really want to. Go to it. Networking is a really good thing to do in the first quarter. Because you could be shown a sign at that event that you would miss if you didn't go. There's little things like that. There's signs and synchronicities that we can be sent, and they can be sent in a number of ways, from angel numbers to animals and birds that we see, when we're out walking or driving or, on a bus. It is about being open to those signs and being open to maybe a new experience that could lead you, that could maybe find an easier route to get from where you are to where you want to be. But don't try to control everything. I keep saying this to people. Don't try to control everything, because as soon as you try to control everything, it all goes wrong. If you try to control everything, you're going to lose the signs and synchronicities that you might have seen or been given that could have actually helped you more than trying to control everything. So release that control and just flow. Go with the flow. Go with the flow of life. Go with your own inner flow as well. But don't stop taking action. Keep going with the action. And don't let doubts take root, because this is the time when doubts start to creep in. Because we've still got that bit of darkness. So we've always still got that inner voice going, maybe you don't deserve this. Maybe you shouldn't have that. Maybe, this, maybe your partner's too good for you. Maybe you're not good enough. We're our own worst critic. And that's, if we do something wrong and it's within a professional environment, then we're going to beat ourselves up. Even if we do get a telling off from the boss, we're still going to beat ourselves up, and we're just going to keep going on and on and on. And it's the worst thing we can do. You can do it, you can make a go of it, and you can have it, you can achieve it. But keep checking in with your new moon intentions and what you still need to do. Because you've still got to keep taking that action. So if there's a last minute invite to somewhere, go. It could be a good time. You could just have a good social time. You could also meet someone who could help you on your way. You can also, if things aren't serving you anymore, and when I say things, I mean anything from people to the situation you're in or a situation that's arisen. Things, thought patterns, behaviours, anything and everything that doesn't serve you, listen to that inner knowledge of, this isn't working out for me. This isn't working in the way it should. It's making things worse. While this isn't the time to release, it's a good time to start writing down what could be good to release. So as well as having the new moon intentions, have a little list of things to maybe release, because that'll be important later on. So next we've got the Waxing Gibbous, which looks sort of somewhere between these two. And this is when the energy level is really growing. But you may still feel like something's missing. You just need to be patient. Particularly if you're one of those kinds of people who just wants everything done yesterday. You know, I'm like that with myself sometimes, but it's the right time. It'll happen. It will happen. You will get it. You will find that success that you're looking for. Your sleep may start to be affected because this is when the moon starts going, you've still got things to do. You know, it's literally doing that prodding thing of you've still got things to do. You've still got a list to get through. You know, that this is when the moon just wants you to achieve. So it's just saying, take the time to dedicate towards finishing projects. So if you've got things that need to be finished off, start thinking about those. You'll probably find out more about what isn't serving you still, and any challenges you face. Again, write those down. If you journal it. Because you can read back and go, actually, no, that is something I need to release. That is something that I need to let go of in my life. You know, it holds the power. The Waxing Gibbous holds the power. This is also the time, as I said, what isn't serving you, but also what's holding you back, whether it's your own fears, your own self-doubt, you know, whatever it is, that can surface at this time. So just be aware, write it down, but don't do anything just yet, because we're moving towards the higher energy phases of the moon. So between here and here, high energy. Low energy is when the moon is less than half. So you're approaching the highest energy point, which is, of course, the full moon. But with the Waxing Gibbous, you can draw on the energy of the moon to help you get things done, because it's never too late to take action. Even if you've left it till the last minute, you can still get things done. You know, you just have to be patient and trust sometimes. So as I said, the next is the full moon, which is the highest energy level. You'll either, depending on whether you've worked with the flow or fought against the flow, you'll either feel a sense of completion or you'll be emotionally frazzled. I've spent a lot of time feeling emotionally frazzled, and it's never good. It's never a good sign. But when you have that sense of completion, that something's, you know, you've done that bit, it's an achievement. It's an achievement, so celebrate it. But if you've fought against it, or something has come up against you, write that down, note it down, look at what was in the way, look at what was stopping you from getting there. If you had help, regardless of who you got help from, be grateful for that help. Because if you hadn't have had that help, you might not be where you are now at the full moon. Obviously, we've had a full moon over the last few days, which was also a super moon, which I will talk about towards the end. But with the full moon, you can look at all the signs, everything, including where you might have strayed away from the intentions you set at the new moon. But that's fine. Everything's going to be made clear. Sometimes a deviation is needed to give those ideas time to actually go, this is what I need to do. This is how I can get there. It can be an emotional time because it's the highest energy. We are 75% water. We feel that energy pull of the moon. The full moon is the absolute best time to be clear on what needs to be released. It literally shines a light everywhere. even into those darkest corners of ourselves that we might want to hide, it will come to light, even in other people. So if they've got a different agenda to what you think they have, or what they've been sort of giving you an idea of, this is when it will come to light. The full moon is when it will come to light. It's a time for forgiveness as well, because forgiving, it doesn't give them permission to, if someone's wronged you, it doesn't give them permission to do it again. What it does is you're actually giving yourself permission to move on without that baggage. And while it's very easy to say, well, this is when you can start maybe thinking about releasing, but you're not actually releasing, this is also the time to go, well, this is quite a big thing that I need to be releasing. This isn't going to be done over the next sort of couple of weeks. It's going to take another couple of months. That's fine, because some things aren't meant to just be dropped. They are meant to be worked through so that you can release them in the healthiest way and in the way that is also going to serve your highest good. And also, some things just take time to manifest. It's not an overnight, there you go, you've got the things you wanted, you've got the life you wanted, you've got everything, you've got your dream. It's not like that. Some things do take time. But celebrate any successes you have had since the new moon, and be clear on what held you back. Make a list if you feel you need to. Journal it if you do journaling. But next we're going to move on to the Waning Giver. So this is sort of, because I started down here, so we're going to go up here, so it's sort of between these two. And that's when the energy starts to decrease, and you can maybe feel yourself starting to lose hope. But don't lose hope. This is the time to keep firm, keep hold of that trust and that faith in whatever you believe in. Trust and have faith, and keep that hope. Look at what did work for you over the last couple of weeks. Look at what didn't work as well. So if something didn't work, what needs to change so that it does work for you? If there's anything that needs to be changed. If it can't change, it needs to be released. It's a good time for communication. So it's a good time for sharing your insight and the wisdom. Whatever you've learnt, share it. Someone else could find that information useful. Share your experience. While someone may not resonate fully with the idea, they might resonate with elements of the idea that they can then go on and build into their own idea, which then carries on the whole teaching and lessons, and it passes the wisdom on still. If you found that you need to release people from your life, the Waning Gibbous is the best time to have those difficult chats. It's hard having to release people, but sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes they're not working for your highest good. They're not even working for their own. They just want to bring everyone down to their level. No, get rid. You can start looking into saying, do you know what? I've had enough. I'm going to do my own thing now. You can go. The Waning Gibbous isn't the phase to start new projects. If you want to start a new project, that's for the new moon. So that's for the dark moon, so you can plan at the dark moon and move into the new moon of taking action towards that new project. Because what you can't just keep giving your energy and scattering it. It's never going to get things done. And it's going to take an awful lot longer than necessary and just make things harder for you. So give your energy to your current goal, to the goals that you've made at the new moon, and keep going. If you're still missing information, keep gathering, keep looking, keep researching. Alright, so next we've got the last quarter, the waning last quarter, which is, let me try this one. So again, it's half a moon that's lit up, but this energy is softer because it's encouraging, it's supporting, it's saying keep going. Let go of what's holding you back. Let go and keep going. Sorry about that. That was a bit of a awkward silence. Not quite silence, but awkward. Release what the last quarter is the time to, hang on, I've missed. I was on the Waxing Gibbous, wasn't I? No, I wasn't. No, I was on the last quarter. I am going absolutely balmy today. My head is somewhere where it shouldn't be. So yes, the last quarter. It's encouraging and supporting because now is the time to release. This is the releasing time so that you can go, do you know what? I don't need these things. It can go. They can all go. You may feel uneasy because you're having to make that change. And while it can be it can seem like a really big change by, say, decreasing your social circle by half. See how you feel afterwards. Once you've actually done it and you're socialising with just a smaller number of people, is there quite as much drama? Is there quite as much, energy that you're giving out that you're maybe not able to get back? Draw on everything that you've learned through this particular cycle. You can still learn from previous cycles because hindsight is a brilliant thing. Hindsight is the best thing in the world. We just can't necessarily in the modern day take that time to just sit and reflect and go, no, that didn't work. I'm going to change that. I'm going to get rid of it. And as I said before, some things may take multiple cycles to release, but sometimes the more aware of it you are, the better the change and the release can be. And again, that's anything from a person, a situation, place, even. So if you're living somewhere and it's not working out for you, move. Take that, just up sticks and move. It can sound like a really easy thing to just up sticks and move. There is a much longer process to it, but that is the last quarter is the time to start thinking, maybe I need to change where I live. Maybe I need to start setting boundaries on what I say yes to and what I say no to. Maybe I'm saying yes to too many things. Maybe I'm saying no to too many things. This is the time to start releasing those ideas, those beliefs, whatever it is that's going on that's not working for you. Change it, get rid of it. The last quarter is the time to look back, reflect on what's happened, but also you're still looking to the future. You're still looking forward, because if those intentions that you set at the new moon couldn't all be achieved within that cycle, keep going with them. You will get there. You can make those steps. You can make, you can get those bridging steps to go from down here with the crescent to the full moon at completion. The last quarter is the time to give that last push of energy to wrap everything up, prioritize, organize, do all the things that you might have put off because you just don't want to do them. The last quarter is the time to do that. Things may come together. you know, this could be the time where, as much as you've had several projects that are interlinked to lead you to one thing, they may come together. Or you may find that some do and there's issues with some of the others. Just reflect on those. See what can be changed within those issues. But also, if you've made decisions that haven't worked for you, take responsibility for those. Face up to it. And then make decisions about the future for going forward. So, in a nutshell, starting at the new moon, which is behind me, the new moon helps you to decide what to create and move towards. And it's about new beginnings. So that's the time to start start thinking about your new projects, what the next new thing is that you're going to do. The waxing moon is when you can act to bring your vision, your dreams, your hopes into reality. Apologies. It's when you'll find signs and synchronicities come most often. And if you find yourself looking for guidance and you find guidance from somewhere or someone, follow it. Work with the moon's growing energy. So the full moon is the completion, and the full moon illuminates things as they are, so that you can see what stands in your way, what needs releasing, and what needs to be celebrated because it's been achieved. The waning moon is all about releasing what doesn't serve. Let go of those things, the people that stands in your way. And surrender to that, you know, flow of life. Surrender to the flow. If it needs to go, there's a reason it needs to go. So, that's all about the phases of the moon. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about supermoons, because we had one last month in March, we've had one this month in April, and we've still got another 2 to go. So we've got May and June as well. Apologies. It's because I haven't taken my hay fever tablets. And I went outside earlier and it was a bit windy. Hay fever. It's brilliant. Supermoons. Now, when we learn about the moon and it orbiting the Earth, we're normally shown it in a circular orbit. It's not circular, nor are the planets, otherwise we wouldn't have retrogrades. I'll talk about those in another video. Apologies, I'm so sorry. But because instead of having a circular orbit, it's more of an oval. And because of that oval orbit, there are points where the moon is closer to Earth and further away from the Earth. Now, when it's closer, it's a supermoon. Because it looks bigger, it can appear up to 14% bigger. And when it's further away and it's smaller, it's a micromoon. Supermoon it amplifies the energy. Because it's bigger, there's a bigger energy, there's bigger power available. The effects of anything done during this full supermoon is felt much more strongly. And if you do full moon magic, it will be way more potent. It will be way stronger than under a normal full moon. The micro moons I know not an awful lot about. I'm going to do some research on those, and then I can maybe do a video in the future about those as well. So that's the phases of the moon. of the Lunar. My Lunar is sleeping. She has been for the entirety of this video, so my apologies there's no shenanigans today, but I'm sure there will be in the future. Normally is. She picks and chooses. But I hope you find this informative. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I will see you again next week for the next instalment. Stay safe and blessed be.